Hey guys, what's up? It's Monica and welcome back to another episode of Style for Success, Dress Like a Boss. Today's episode is super special because I have a fashionista, business babe, all the things with us. Let me introduce you to Toby Morgan. Toby is a lawyer and she is a fashion designer. So you guys are getting a 2-for-1 in this one. So I'm gonna let her introduce herself and tell you all the things, just give you a little brief introduction about her brand, what she does, and all that good stuff, and then we'll jump right into the questions. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, first I want to say thank you. I'm really excited to be here. I'm excited to tell you about my journey and hopefully inspire. But essentially, I just got frustrated with snaps. I didn't understand why we were still living that way. So for the viewers, I decided to invent a magnetic closure for bodysuits. And when I started this journey, I was really just looking for a cashmere bodysuit because I have a very small waist, I have very broad hips, and in the winter I felt like I couldn't, and I also like to wear kind of more fitted clothing. I like to show my silhouette a little bit more. And in the winter I was always stuck with a bulky sweater or something like that that just didn't really accentuate my waist in any way. Or I had to layer a lot because I didn't have a layer that was really that warm as a base layer. So that's where I started. And this is back in 2017. So I Googled cashmere bodysuit, nothing came up. I think one Dolce & Gabbana bodysuit came up. It was like $1,500, but it was not a concept back then. Bodysuits Skims hadn't started yet. So bodysuits weren't really as mainstream as they are today. But they were for me. And I'm sure for a lot of women they were, because if that's the type of silhouette you like, you want to feel like you're tucked in, but also like you can move around, So anyways, long story short, I just got frustrated. I have no background at all,
really,
in fashion or anything. So I didn't even know where to start. I just knew I thought it was annoying. And I just didn't understand why. So I was like, I want to make a cashmere bodysuit, and maybe that'll be a thing. Maybe I can even just make it for myself. I don't know, but I just was curious. But then when I got to thinking about it, I was like, but if I'm gonna create a bodysuit, why would I do these stupid snaps still? Because they're so stupid. Why would I do that, right? So I was like, I don't know what would be better, but let me go out and see what's out there from a closure perspective. And at the time, they weren't using magnets in apparel. They were mostly using them in accessories. And so the types of magnets that were on the market for apparel would not have fit in with what I was trying to do. I'm sure many people know that usually the magnet is where your bag meets the flap.
Exactly.
It's usually a little bit wide, it's heavy, and it's not the right shape. So that was one of the challenges. And when I was trying to seek this information out, I was getting no's from everybody. They were like, it's impossible, it's not a thing, it's accessories only, this is not gonna work.
Wait, I'm just gonna pause you real quick. So I hope you guys are just paying attention to this story, because when people tell you no, don't take no for an answer. Because if you had taken no for an answer, you would have missed this huge opportunity. The first time I saw your bodysuits at Jerry's place, shout out to Jeremiah James, I was like, this is genius. Why in 2023 is this the first time I'm seeing a bodysuit that instead of having those annoying snaps that God knows, I'm like this trying to put it on, a magnet. I even did a TikTok video. I'm gonna have the TikTok video pop in. My editors will put it in. I did a TikTok video, it was funny. It was with the Kardashian audio, look at this.
Yeah.
Mind blowing.
Yeah. And
it's comfortable.
Yeah.
And I can say that because I wore it. I had it on for hours, and I was just like, this is genius. So first of all, kudos and applause to you for actually paying attention to women and actually not taking that no for an answer and just pushing through to create something that you knew that there was an opening for. I think that, you know, with my marketing background, that's like the number one way to succeed is find a problem and find a solution, and you found an amazing solution. Sorry to cut you off, I just had to insert that.
No, I totally appreciate it. And I'm just in an emotional space right now with how far I've come, and yet still have so much further to go. And with entrepreneurship, it can be very daunting.
Oh yeah.
So hearing you say that, it's helpful. It's what keeps me going. Like, I did do this for women. And when I started, I made sure that like I wrote down what I wanted to do. And one of the things I wanted to do was make sure I was improving women's lives. Like, I did do this for women. I was thinking about the fact that like, we deserve better.
Absolutely.
We deserve better. So that was, the fact that you get that too is really heartening for me. So thank you for saying that.
Of course.
But yeah, so I kept going. I didn't take no for an answer. I'm also a Capricorn. And I'm Jamaican. So I'm like, what is a no?
Exactly.
It's not. And I'm a lawyer.
There you exactly. There you go.
I don't even know what no means. So I have to tell this story. I'm in the bathroom, because this is how I found the magnets. I'm in the bathroom at what is the name of that place? So we live in Atlanta for viewers. Oh gosh. Anyways, I'm in the bathroom and someone's complaining about their bodysuit. Complaining in the bathroom about how stupid it is, and oh my gosh, guys, guess what I have on a bodysuit? You know what I mean, you know, kind of thing. And I was like, it's so funny you should say that. Like, I really want to invent a magnetic bodysuit, but I'm just having trouble like getting where I need to go, you know? And the person who was in the stall actually had a swimwear line. And she was like, that's a really great idea. I'm going to put you in contact with someone that I worked with, because I didn't have a fashion background either, that hopefully can get you to your next couple of steps. And so
God.
I know.
Wow.
I know. So she did actually email me, because you know that's another thing too. People say they're going to do something, never do it.
Yeah.
No, she was very prompt. She got back to me right away, and then she introduced me to Assembly Line, which is a company here that tries to help people that are in this position that don't have necessarily a fashion background and industry background, find, you know, kind of start that path, you know, and have that type of support that you're going to need, because it is very complicated. Like, making clothing is not a simple process. And in fact, being in this now, I realize how much I take it for granted, all the work that goes into making one garment. It's amazing. So Atlanta is also not like really known for being like the fashion place, right? Or like having factories that are going to create things for you. So everybody's like, you got to go to LA, you got to go to New York, right? But I also, through that same connection, was able to find Amanda Williamson, and she's a lot bigger now. She actually has a store in Phipps. She's done New York Fashion Week. She's been on the Obama's radar. Like, she's gotten much bigger, but at the time, she hadn't really blown up yet. She was actually on, like, when we were working together, she was about to do Rent the Runway.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Rent the Runway.
Or something. But anyway, she was about to go to LA, you know, and audition for the work that she does in her area. But I hired her to do my first samples, like my first samples that I was actually able to feel comfortable and confident about. And we had a lot of different variations at first. Like, when we first did it, we thought maybe the whole bodysuit would come up, like the whole, and then maybe magnet here. Like, we were trying a bunch of different things, like what is the solution here? But eventually, and also with the placement of the magnet in the more pubic area, I was like, do we want it to be up a little bit more? Do we want to keep it traditional where it is, like between the legs? You know, what did we want to do? So she made a couple different samples for me, was able to locate magnets that can be washed, and did some of that groundwork for me and made some beautiful samples. And that was really where it was like I envisioned, like I actually made something that I thought about. Like, it was just amazing to see it all come together. And I think if I hadn't run into her, I probably would never have kept going, you know? So I definitely wanted to mention that, because she's amazing, and I'm very grateful to her. But yeah, so now it's 7 years later. Fast forward, lots of product development, lots of failures, I'm now manufacturing in Mexico. When I started, I was trying to manufacture in New York. That was a catastrophe. Also, COVID. I lost a lot of time there.
COVID was the dream killer. The dream killer.
Like, I lost a lot of time because of COVID, because, you know, especially in the garment industry, generally people are in the same room sewing, cutting, sewing, you know. And it's also, New York is huge, and New York was one of the most strict places with COVID.
Exactly.
Like, they shut down, like, for real. So I lost a lot of time with that, because at the time I had someone making these samples in New York, and then once they were up and running again, she always had COVID. You know, I'm just like, okay, like, but I don't think she actually really had COVID. Like, it was just like her excuse, you know? And so I lost a lot of time because of that. But eventually I was able to have a really great prototype that I was able to put into production and make some actual units for sale. And then I launched D2C, just didn't necessarily want to go into retail just yet. I didn't have the knowledge or background, and to me that seemed like I wasn't going to be able to scale in order to put my stuff in the stores. Because like, I'm bootstrapping this, like, I'm using my money as a lawyer to pay to try to invent something and then also build a brand. So like, in between all this time, I've also paid for patent attorneys, you know, the fabrics, the manufacturing, the magnets themselves, the research and development, the people that you have to hire to help you do these things, because I don't know how to make CADs. I don't know how to, you know.
To sew,
yeah, I don't know how to sew.
But, you know, but the thing is, even I know how to sew, and I can create, and I'm self-taught. But just, you know, I think another thing in business is when you identify what your strengths are, hone in on that, but you also have to identify what your strengths are not, and then hire the right people to make sure that they can bring your vision to fruition. And, you know, so there's nothing wrong with that. To me, I'm like, kudos to you, because that is you knowing what your strengths are and where to allocate. So that is amazing.
No, yeah, it definitely was. It's been a journey, and it's a very long story, but I'm here. I'm still standing. I haven't given up. It's been a rocky road.
You cannot give up on something that is so amazing. Guys, when I tell you the product is amazing, like, I'm not even kidding. Like, when I saw it, and then, because I didn't know who you were, I didn't know who the designer was, but Jerry showed me the bodysuits, and I was just like, this is just like, because it was myself and then another influencer, and we were both in awe. And then he's like, yeah, she's black, she's Jamaican. I'm just like, even better, you know, even better. And the fact that you have it patent pending means no one's gonna steal this from you.
Well, I mean, for me, it's not even about that. Like I said, I am doing this for women. So of course I would love to get like bought out or like actually get something out of doing this. But even if for whatever reason some other big brand wanted to copy me, yes, they couldn't do the exact same thing obviously, but they could probably move it to a different area or change the shape or width of the magnet, right? Patenting in the clothing industry is notoriously very difficult. And as you guys know, I mean, you can go buy a fake Louis Vuitton. They have all the lawyers and money in the world to try to protect their brand. So, you know, at the end of the day, people copy. But to me, it would be flattering, A. And B, it would be better for women.
That's true.
You know, like if they can mass produce and make it cheaper or whatever, that's fine by me. I'm still creating a product that's more of a luxury product anyway. And I do want this to be something that's available to all women.
I love that.
I don't want it to be something that's exclusive. And so that's definitely one of my goals as I grow, is to try to make sure I'm bringing the price point down. But you know, with that comes a different product. You know, and I definitely always wanted something that felt good, felt heavy, felt substantial
with the product.
And
you feel that. Obviously you guys can't feel that over through the screen, but I can attest that because whenever it comes to fabric and clothing, especially with a higher price point, or even just that I'm interested in, first thing I do is I feel it, and then I turn it around, see what the stitching and the workmanship on the inside looks like. And like I said, very impressed all around. So that's what, you know, when Jerry just gave me the backstory and everything, I was just like, well, when do we get to meet her? When do we get to meet her? So amazing story. I'm going to jump into the questions real quick so we can answer some of the questions, because the fashion girls want to know how you navigate your work and your business and everything and in style. So I'm going to jump into question number 1, and this will allow you to kind of like elaborate more on your brand, on yourself, and everything else. So the first question, one moment please. Okay, so question number 1, what has been your career journey and how did fashion play into that journey?
Okay, so I don't think that fashion actually was a part of my career journey. I think fashion was a part of my personal life journey more so. From a career perspective, I always wanted to incorporate my own personality into what I wore into the office. But of course it has limits, and I'm not a trial attorney now, but I did do trials as well. And you do have to kind of look a certain way. Like, there's a time and a place for everything, right? And that was not the time or the place. Like, on TV it looks different, and you'll see lawyers, like big lawyers wearing all kinds of stuff. That's not reality. At the end of the day, you don't want to make the jury feel like you're better than them, or like you're showing off, or that you're more concerned with how you look than representing your client, you know? So generally, you want to be a little bit more demure. And so fashion for me was usually something that I got to do in my personal life, and I got to enjoy in my personal life. But it started really young for me. I'm an only child, and don't have a relationship with my father either. So essentially single parent situation. And so to me, my brothers and sisters were the family that I grew up with, like my mom's friends, their children were like my siblings. And luckily for me, I was the youngest. So I got to, as I was growing up, watch them grow into being fashionable, watch them, you know, reading Vogue and reading Bazaar and like dressing a certain way, and then me wanting to emulate that, right? Because I was probably like, let's say 9 to 13, they're 17 to 20, and you know how it is, like when you're that age, you start to care about your appearance, you start to care about how you look and fashion and stuff. And so I really kind of learned from the people around me, like the people who I care a lot about. And many of them, I mean, are still to this day some of the most fashionable people, in my opinion. They're artists, they're lawyers too, they're lots of different backgrounds, but maybe I'm also drawn to people that are fashionable. Maybe that's what it is.
Well, you're in the fashion industry now, so that shows.
I'm sitting here with you.
Exactly.
So
Exactly. I love it. I love it. Okay, so let's go into question number 2. How would you describe your style for your body type?
I think my style for my body type, one of the things I find frustrating about femininity and also the male gaze is there are a lot of things that I wish I could wear, but because I'm voluptuous, it always feels inappropriate. So like, I envy like very thin women who can wear very short shorts, because it just, the way that men gaze at you is very different when your butt is really big and you have on really short shorts.
At work.
Well, not in a workspace, but just in general. Just like you're gallivanting around the world, like you're doing your thing. You're on vacation. You're going to the supermarket. You know, whatever it is you're doing. I wish I could do a little bit more of that. I wish I could be a little bit more edgy, and I think having my body type definitely has contributed to me being very conscious about what I have on and trying to minimize that male gaze to a certain extent. And maybe it's just me, maybe it's in my head, but I don't know, like I can tell that even for me as a woman, when I see a more voluptuous woman, it's just different. I don't know why, but it's just different, especially if they're scantily clad.
I really think that it's a lot of that has to do with society, right?
Yeah.
And the connotations that are placed on women's body, especially curvy women, right? And you don't have to be black or white, but if you are curvy and you wear certain things, automatically there's a negative connotation. Yeah, exactly.
It's very sexualized.
And it is, you know, it's disheartening to see that, because with fashion, I feel like you want to have fun with fashion and you want to play around and you want it to be an extension of who you are as a person, but because of that, it becomes a little bit more limiting. But you know, I think it's all about finding and navigating around that and finding pieces that you feel comfortable in. Your bodysuits look amazing. They, in my opinion, they really accentuate your body and they make you look really pretty. And just even with what you're wearing, beautiful high-rise slip skirt, you know, that hits the hugs, hits the hips perfectly, but makes you look very beautiful, but still complementing your silhouette. So I personally love your style. I feel like it's all about finding things that work with your body, understanding your body type, and just, you know, adding pieces to your wardrobe that just complement that and accentuate the parts you personally love about your body. So
and also like there are many women out there who can do it. I for me personally though, I can't. So generally speaking, my style, if I'm gonna be in a casual setting, then I'm definitely like the high-end athleisure girl, right? Like my set's gonna match. It's not gonna be mismatched. It's gonna match. It's gonna be super cute. And then in my like everyday life, then yes, usually I'm trying to balance my voluptuousness against what I have on, and so I tend to wear things that are a little less sexy, and a little bit more, in my opinion, elegant. I'm trying to make that come across when I'm in the room.
I love it. I love it. Okay, next question. Let's see. Question number 3. What was your most ridiculous buy?
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
I think this is probably the question I love the most.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. So, just for the people listening, my most ridiculous buy actually in real life was bottle service in South Beach, Miami, Florida, so that I could see Gucci Mane.
Are you serious?
At some club, right? And never have I ever had to do that in my life, right? As women, generally attractive women, like you're going in, it's free, the bottles are paid for, you have no concept of the cost. When that bill came, I was like, this is the dumbest money I have ever spent in my life. Like, I will never again do this. And also, it gave me a really big appreciation for what men go through. I was like, next time I'm in a section, I'm going to dance. I see why they look at you and they're like, get up. Like, have fun. Like, that's why I bought all these bottles.
I know, right?
And we're just like, I'm too cute. But that was definitely my most ridiculous purchase. From a clothing perspective, though, and from a fashion perspective, I don't think any of my purchases have been ridiculous.
I love it.
I like every single purchase that I've ever made, and I love them. And, you know, no, nothing's been ridiculous.
So what's been the most expensive?
The most expensive is definitely... It's definitely Chanel, but if you're getting into jewelry, then obviously
then jewelry just kind of like, because I was noticing all the bling on the arms. I was just like, okay, we got a little ridiculous Rolex there and the diamonds, and I'm like, okay, my kind of girl, we love the bling. But there's a subtlety to it and a subtlety to your style, which I love. It's definitely giving me very understated luxury.
Yeah, I'm trying. You're picking up what I'm putting down.
All right, I love it. I love it.
But yeah, so definitely Chanel, most expensive. Nothing though ridiculous. Like, I love everything that I've ever bought. Never thought it was silly or stupid. I think we deserve it. I work hard.
Amen.
I work very, very hard. And so when I want to buy like something expensive for myself, I do it.
Good.
I do it. I will say one of my favorite purchases though, where I really felt like I got something that I really wanted. I don't know if you've seen these before, but they're Bottega, and they like look like a phone cord.
Yes, I was going to buy them. I had them in the cart, but actually one of my friends, she bought them. Monroe Steele. Hey Monroe, what's up? And I think she said they were very uncomfortable.
So this
was
is
it her or somebody else?
This is the thing. No, it was probably her, because I have a couple pairs of shoes from them, 2 of which I can't even wear because they're so uncomfortable. Like they're very uncomfortable shoes. For everybody out there, they're very uncomfortable. Long story short, I still love those shoes though. Those to me aren't the most uncomfortable of the bunch, but they're just such a unique shoe.
That's the thing. When I saw them, I thought they were like the coolest
thing I've ever seen in my life. And of course it was sold out.
Right.
You know, I happened to go to Italy right when they came out. So I even went to the store while I was in Italy, like they have to have it here, right? Exactly. I'm in Italy. Didn't have it there either.
Really?
They were like, you can try to mail it to you or whatever. Like they were looking at stores in the U.S. trying to find the shoe. But I guess they must have done a restock because I kept looking, you know, and I guess they must have done a restock. And I've never bought something so fast in my life. I was so excited when they came. I was so happy. That was definitely one of my more joyful purchases. And also one of the things I like to look at in my closet the most.
And sometimes
they're so cute.
Yeah, well, sometimes that's really all it's about, just to have it in the closet or have it on the wall.
Yeah.
And just look at it. I really wanted them because I found that my Bottega heels were always the most comfortable.
Really?
So I stocked up on them because I have big feet and I don't like pain. So like the mesh ones, and I have some mules.
Those are probably more comfortable.
Yes,
all
and then the stretch
ones that
sandals,
I
everything in the stretch.
Have like
that
a thing
line,
right
yeah.
here. And
It
he
starts
makes
to
them, I
cut it,
think,
yeah.
for narrow feet.
Yeah, they do. They do.
So, but no, still love the brand. I love, speaking of people who care about women, all my Bottega shoes have like that tread,
yes.
which I think is also a thoughtful addition to something that you're making.
Absolutely.
Like, we're walking around in heels, guys. Like, can it be a less slick surface? Like, can you do something about
so we don't
that?
slip and fall?
Yeah, and they do that.
They do.
It's one of my favorite things about
that
brand.
I think that's what it was when I got my first pair. I was just like, this is genius. Like, why hasn't anybody else done this? But I'm just waiting for more new styles that are still sexy and pretty and look good on big or small feet. I feel like they've kind of dropped the ball a little bit, but
yeah.
C'est la vie. Anyway, next question. Talk to me about your leadership skills and what would you wear to an important meeting?
Oh. This is a good one too, girl. You got all these great questions.
Good questions.
Oh my goodness. I think my leadership style is collaborative. And it's also humility. I feel like you always have something to learn from someone else.
Absolutely.
Regardless if they aren't the person who's in power in the room. If you are, you still have something that you can learn from someone else. And I try to remember that in all my interactions that I have at work, especially if I'm in that leadership role. And I also try to always be collaborative. I ask, I check in, do you agree with my opinion? Do you have other thoughts? I definitely want everyone to feel like they have a place at the table. But of course, at the same time, you have to balance that with like not being too much of a pushover. But that's something I like and admire in leaders. And so that was definitely something I wanted to emulate when I was in a position of leadership. And what would I wear? Girl, like, there's so much to choose from. Okay. There's something really nice. Well, like I said, I like to wear fitted clothing. So there's something really nice to me about Hervé, like the way that they do fitted clothing, but still make it look classy.
Yeah. And the fabric, the way that the fabric really kind of holds you in, because you can go very wrong with overly fitted bodycon, but they've been able to solidify themselves as the pioneer of creating that thicker knit that literally holds you in.
Yeah, it's fabulous. Yeah. So I'd probably do something like that, maybe with a nice blazer, so you're giving a little sexiness, but also conservative, and a pump. You gotta have a pump. I'm not a fan of the lube at work. I'm not the lube at work girl. I don't understand. Like, every time I see someone wearing lubes at work, I'm like, okay.
You didn't watch the interview with my sister. That's all she wears. She literally
How does she walk?
So this is her thing.
I'm just like, how are you doing
this? If it's less than 4 inches, she's not doing it.
How?
She will not do.
I have to talk to her because, like, when I see these women, I'm like, are you comfortable? Like, what is going on?
She swears by these. Like, I remember, so whenever I'm in Toronto doing photo shoots, I usually don't bring shoes because we wear the same shoe size. So I'll shoot with her shoes. And I remember there was a photo shoot, myself, my girlfriend Toronto Shay, and my other girlfriend Sasha, we were shooting together. And I was wearing her boots, and I was like, it was the funniest thing. I was in so much pain. I didn't realize Sasha was recording me laughing. She was like dying because I was literally, I'm like, so I keep on telling her, I'm like, you are lying when you say these things are comfortable. For her feet have been adopted. She's adopted her feet to the pain or whatever, because she swears they're comfortable. When she goes to dinner, that's when she does the 5.5, 6-inch heels. but for work she does 4 inches.
Girl,
so
I'm gonna clutch my pearls.
Honey, even when we did her interview, she was like, yes, when I get to work, you know, I'll get to work in flats, yes, but once I get into the office, I got my heels on. So she's like, I need a bag that can take at least 2 pairs of heels.
I love that.
Yeah,
though.
yeah, and she bounces around the out. She goes around the out. I've
it.
seen her in action. And I'm just like, kudos to you, because I also cannot do it.
No,
Even
girl.
from doing a photo shoot, say if the camera's over there and I'm here, I'm like, okay, can you throw me the shoe?
Yeah, it's gonna be a Gucci Prada somewhat flat shoe for me.
That part. That part. Okay, so question number 5. What does a casual day look like for you, and what would you wear?
Oh, my favorite casual day, or like a real casual day where I'm actually just at home watching Netflix?
No, not when you're at home, but like a casual day where I'm about town, I'm running the streets of Atlanta, you know, where everybody wants to see and be seen. What would you wear?
I think I'd go for my sexy athleisure in that setting, depending on where I'm going. Because I've now that I've had the opportunity to be comfortable, because I've spent so much time in work clothes. Like so much of my adulthood has been in like work clothes. And then when the pandemic came, and I didn't have to put on work clothes, I really leaned in.
Wasn't it like,
I leaned into athlete. I leaned all the way in. I was like, oh, this is it. And plus, I love yoga. I actually got my I trained to be an instructor. Like that's how much I love yoga. So of course I like if you love a yoga pant, right? You want to strut around in that. But for me, yeah, if I'm gonna be casual, I'm gonna be actually casual. And then from a sneaker perspective, I'm not like a huge sneakerhead, but I also have to have like, you know, I have
Jordan
to
loves.
No, I'm not a Jordan. I'm definitely Yeezy. I love Yeezys. They're very comfortable, and I like them because they're different. Like everyone has Jordans. When I see Yeezys out, it's usually rare. But anyways, so I love a Yeezy. And then I've gotten into New Balance now. But you know, New Balance has some drip. Like they have some drip.
They do.
They have some drip.
I think I worked with them a long, long time ago. I haven't worked with them since. It's been a minute. I would love to work with them again because they're definitely, their color combinations and everything are just fun.
Yeah. I'm definitely, and I recently, from a sneaker purchase perspective, my boo got them for me. The new Pharrell Adidas drop, the Sambas drop that he just
haven't seen those, but I'm like, if Pharrell did it, then of course.
I know. So proud of him.
With the Louis Vuitton collection, oh my goodness. I just noticed that fell down. Yeah, oh my goodness. Like, I don't know. I think that's for like another conversation.
Yeah, sorry.
Because I feel like I feel like I can have like a full-on conversation just about his collection and like what I think and my perspective on it, but we'll leave that for another time. Okay. So, question number 6. What are your go-to pair of shoes, and how do they make you feel when you wear them? Okay.
So this is a perfect segue.
Yes. I know we were just talking about shoes.
Didn't want me to talk about shoes anymore. So we get to keep talking about shoes. I love shoes. I'm definitely more of a shoe person than a bag person. I do love bags too, but like shoes, oh, I love shoes. So I don't know how I can pick. But actually the shoes I have on now are definitely probably my biggest go-to in the summer. Because like I like a flat. This is actually by a Jamaican designer. And so I'm supporting my culture, and I always get compliments. People are always like, where did you get those? Like, what are those? And I have them in like 10 colors.
So we're gonna have to insert a picture because I'm like looking down and I see them and they're gorgeous. Yeah. The leather floral detail, that is amazing.
And it's got a little sexiness to it because you know, it's like a little bit of sexy.
And your feet stay in place. Yeah. Oh, they're stunning.
Yeah. So these gladiator sandals, the company is called Bridget in Jamaica. It's a big thing in Jamaica, and generally, if you see it, like
I heard the accent coming out of it, and I love it.
But yeah, I have a bunch of different colors. So that's one of my go-tos. Then my Yeezys would probably be a close second, I'm not gonna lie. His shoes are comfortable. They are.
I love it.
And then if I'm going out, believe it or not, I'm gonna pull out my lube. Because out of all of the shoes I have, it is actually one of the most comfortable for
Which one? Which one of the, what is the Socade? Because I feel like the Socade is the devil's shoes. I'm like, they are not, I don't care what, I know my sister's going to disagree, but I am sorry. I have tried Socade, and they are so hurt. They should be called So Hurt and not Socade. I think she said they might have changed the name or something. So
I don't know.
Yeah, it's the sexy one that just...
Yeah, no, I know the Socade. Like, that's a classic. Yeah. Do I remember the name of mine? No. But it's similar to the Socade, but the heel is different. But it's also a pointy-toed, very high heel. But that one is actually a little bit more comfortable. And I've had a couple friends buy it because of like me saying that.
Oh, maybe
and they said the same
Pagel.
thing.
Do they still make the Pagel?
Oh, maybe that's what it's called.
Yeah,
that sounds familiar.
Yeah. I wonder if they still make it. Like, I was like, once upon a time, I was a Louboutin head because that was the thing to have. This is why you shouldn't follow people and you should do what works for you. Because I would suffer. And I felt like I was suffering and like just making myself suffer for no reason just to have that red bottom. Mind you, they are pretty well made.
They are.
And I think
I had mine for like 10 years.
Yeah, I might still have a pair that I was trying to sell, and I just forgot that I was trying to sell it in the garage. That was the only pair. Everything else I was gradually getting rid of them because I was just like, I'm not wearing them. I was going to everything else, and then the Valentino Roman studs became popular, so I started buying those, and then I started buying the Manolos.
I never got into the Valentino.
I still have them, and I refuse to sell them because they're still priced
they
the
are.
same.
Yeah, no, they're.
You know, so, and I'm seeing a little bit of a comeback, but then I started buying the Manolo BB because they're about a 4-inch heel, and even though they're still a bit painful because my feet are big and the toe box is just, it's small, it's cut small, so even in a 42, it's still tight. But I use them for photo shoots, and I could wear them if that was my last resort, I could wear them, but I'm just like, that pain. I'm just like, even as I'm saying it about the lubes, I'm just like, ooh, that pain. But they look sexy though. That's the thing. They look so good.
They're very sexy shoe.
Oh my goodness, they are. Okay, question number 7. Your go-to bag for work, play, and evening. So 3 bags.
Oh. Okay, for work, it's definitely the Louis one that everybody has.
Oh,
the Damier, I have a white one.
Oh, nice.
My boo got it for me. Also takes a licking and keeps on ticking. I'm not gonna lie to you. I've had
wait, sorry. Takes a licking and keeps on ticking. I love it, dead. I love it. Okay, sorry.
That bag has been through it, girl. I feel like I've had that bag for like 10 years too. He got it for me as a Christmas gift, I think, one year. I really wanted it. I was like so obsessed. You know, I don't know, at least for me, the 20s, like having a Louis, you just had to have one. It was like, you had to have one. Anyways, so it's still my go-to bag when I'm going to work. I throw everything in there, and it holds everything. I've actually put weights in there before.
Really?
Yes. I put 2 5-pound weights in there once because I had like groceries and stuff, and I was like, I need to bring these upstairs though, and I was like, I wonder if I just put them in here.
Were you trying to see if it just like, if my rib just fit? I'm sure you're like holding it like, okay, it's good.
It's good. No, that bag is powerful. So that's my work bag. Go to play my Chanel, of course.
Classic?
No, I have a top handle one, and she's baby pink.
Oh.
She's a vanity bag.
Oh, I love.
She's so cute.
Kind of like that. The blue one?
Yeah, similar, but she opens from the top.
Oh,
and she's so cute, and she's got a mirror.
Oh, I love that.
And she's just adorable.
I love a cute pink bag. I'm a pink girl, so I've got my whole little pink section there because I love a good pink bag.
No, I love it too.
And then play.
You know, for me, when I'm playing, it's hard for me to find a bag that I actually want to play in. Believe it or not, I think if I'm actually playing, like maybe I'm going to a concert or something, that sort of thing, like, or a festival, I'm going to go for a fanny pack.
I love it.
No, I'm dead at. Like, I'm going to go for a fanny pack. I mean, I have a Gucci one, but like without like being full of brands or like needing big brands or whatever, like I also have an Adidas one. Like, I find the fanny pack to be a great addition to the wardrobe when you have to go somewhere and you don't necessarily want to have something that you're holding in your hand or on your shoulder and you just want to like have fun, right?
Exactly, and just feel hands-free.
Yeah, just like I'm unencumbered. So yeah, I'm definitely a fanny pack girl. Probably if I'm playing. Yes, I might reach for it.
Do you want to show the girls the bag you have today? Because I was peeping that St. Laurent bag and it's gorgeous.
Thank you.
I love a good St. Laurent bag.
So this one, I have a story about this actually. And actually, I have to tell this story because I just need this to go viral so that these people can feel bad about themselves.
Ooh.
Okay, so this is my latest YSL purchase, and it has this suede, and it's actually reversible.
Are you serious?
Yes, you can actually reverse it. It's 2 bags in one. And they actually have them in other colors. Like, they just started making them in other colors too. I think I saw red and like.
I
you've got to get
me one of these.
It's 2 bags in one. And
what?
for me,
I love a twofer.
It was the suede for me because the other ones I don't think there's suede on the inside, and so for me it was. Oof.
And I love it, but look how rich the color is. Let me hold it up so, let me hold it so the girls can see. Look at that in the crop, but look at how the suede on the inside and the color. But I'm a huge fan
and that's why they have the YSL on the inside too, so that you can make it reversible.
And then
so you just have to like change that.
And the leather is pliable enough that you can literally twist it inside out. Because I was just like, okay,
so
there's no boning, but it's still holding shape.
It's lovely.
That's brilliant.
I love this bag. But story for you.
What happened?
I am at the one hotel in South Beach, Miami, Florida. Or Miami Beach is what they call it now, but it was South Beach for quite some time. And I brought 2 YSL bags with me. One I just absolutely loved. It was like a denim-y kind of fabric, but it was like purple. Loved that bag. That was definitely a play bag. And I had another one that was like just my go-to like comfortable like shoulder bag. But I was there for swim week because I was trying to like see what that's like. You know, if I want to get into swim, like what does that look like?
That's definitely the next venture.
Oh yeah. So I was there for swim week. So you want to look cute, you know, because you're around runway shows. Like I had all my outfits and they stole my bags out of my room.
Are you serious?
They stole my bags out of my room at the one hotel. The one hotel. Yes, they stole my bags. And I reported it, and they treated me like crap. Like, they made it seem like I did not have these bags, like they weren't my bags, or that I fabricated this story so I could get money in some way. So they also treated me deplorably. I had to send them photos of me with the bags and like so much stuff, and they still were like, yeah, no. And I was like, this is awful. Like, you're one of the best hotels. Like, you should honor this. Like, you should do better. Like, you should. Why am I being robbed in your hotel? I've never stayed there ever again.
I don't blame you. Oh my God.
But it's like the place to be when you're in Miami Beach. Like, it is. Like, you have to be there. And now I can't be because I'm boycotting them. And you should boycott them too.
I'm not going there. The last time I was in Miami, I didn't go there, so that's fine by me. I don't need to be in the hotel that's popping. I need to be in the hotel that has great service. That's kind of my mantra. I think I've been through so many hotels and been to so many places that customer service is just so important to me. Like, I can't.
It makes or breaks your experience.
Absolutely. And I've been to some hotels, and I'm one of those people that it has to be better than my home. It has to be better than my home. If I'm gonna go there, it has to be better than my home. And if it's not, then I need to like reconsider where I'm going. So I don't want to have to lug my bags. I don't want to have to do all of that. And I've been to some hotels in New York where I'm just like, why am I suffering in this small space? That's why I usually get suites, because then I'm paying a fortune, and I don't want to pay a fortune, but I'm just like, I want that experience because I feel like it's part of the trip, right?
It is.
Even if you're not necessarily going to be in the room the whole time, but I just
when you open the door and you get back in, and you want to have a pleasant shower and you're getting ready.
Yes. And, I'm that person that makes the bed before I go to bed if it's not made. It's just, I don't know, it's just a mental thing for me where I just want to feel, I don't know, I feel like I've worked so hard all my life that those are the moments of my home. When I go to bed, I just want to feel special, and so I'll put on a nice nightgown, my eye mask, my ocean sound playing, and just sleep in a made bed. And my husband's on board with it too, so it makes it easier.
I'm a brown noise girl. I love brown noise.
That is brown noise.
You gotta have the sleep sounds.
Yeah.
Brown noise. So of course brown noise is the best of all the noises, and it's brown. So shout out to us. But they have white noise, which is a lot more high pitched, and then brown noise is more mellow. It sounds almost like thunder, maybe. Like it's very. It's muted. It's lovely.
All right, I love the sound of the ocean.
It's close to that. It's giving that. But for me, the like lapping. I'm listening to the lapping more than I need to, and so I just need a sound that doesn't change, like a constant
Okay, I'm going to look into that, because I've struggled a little bit with sleep, but let's get into next question.
Yeah, sorry.
That's okay. All right, so question number 8. What are your closet staples, and where would you wear them to?
Oh my. These questions get harder and harder. Oh my goodness. I should have done my homework. I should have watched more of these.
Yes, girl. I got quite a few
episodes. Stolen some people's responses or something. Okay, staple piece. Where would I wear it? Ooh, this is tough. this is so hard. I barely knew what I was going to put on to get here. It's like, what am I going to put on? So, transparently, I live in a very small condo with a very tiny closet, and it's literally bursting at the seams with the clothing. And so we're looking to buy a house now. One of the things I need is a closet. And I can't even tell you what's in my closet. I'm not going to lie to you. Just a couple days ago, I was getting ready for work. I pulled out a collared shirt, unworn, tag still on it. I had no idea that it was in there because that's how much shit I have, that I have in this closet. So go-to at this point is what I can find. I'm like, what can I touch that's nearby? Because my closet is not where it needs to be right now. But ask me this question again once I move into a bigger house.
I will.
With my closet where I can actually see my things, and I'll probably know like what my go-to is. At this point, it's like, girl.
But of course, your bodysuit.
Of course, my bodysuit. Of course, Lucia.
Which one of the Lucia? How do you pronounce it?
So it's not like a real word. So you can say Luska, you can say Luska. I'm not going to be offended.
Because I pronounce it as Luska.
Yeah, I say Luska too.
Okay.
But some people say Luska. I think that still sounds good. It's a little sexy.
Luska. Ooh, it's like lust.
Yeah. So I'm not mad at it. But yeah, it is Luska. But this one is one of my favorites for sure. This is the Melissa. It's sleeveless. It's got a nice scoop.
Like that.
The fabric is a little thicker.
Yes.
It's very simple. So I actually have worn this to the airport as well. And if you can wear a bodysuit by the way, that's one of like the best compliments for me. When a friend texts me and they're like, I wore your bodysuit to a concert and I used a porta potty and it was the best experience of my life. Or I wore your bodysuit to the airport and it wasn't terrible. Like I was actually able to like
open it up, yeah. Because I've traveled in Skims, and I hate the way the thing rides up mud.
But
yes, so I will normally not. I'll unsnap it.
Yeah.
But the joke is because I've unsnapped it, the tail part of it has been, then when you're going through TSA, you have to take your sweaters off and your jackets and your blazers. So I've had more than once, on more than one occasion, unhooked, and somebody's like, honey, your bodysuit is sticking out of your pants.
The back of your pants. Like, why are we here?
Yes. Honestly, like what, 2023, and we're still struggling with bodysuits. For no reason. This is why I just had to have you here, because I really wanted the girls to first of all meet you as the creator of the brand, but not only are you a designer and paving the way and just showing that if you have a vision of something, you can bring it to fruition, but you're also a boss. Like, you are a lawyer, you're doing well, you've got a great job, and you're a great role model. So I just kudos to you. Before we go on to the last two questions.
Ditto.
Oh, thank you. All right, so question number 8 is an audience question. And the question is, now that you have this amazing brand, where do you see it going in the future?
Well, that's a good question. And definitely excited to answer it. So I have been channeling becoming a unicorn. So I would like to scale the brand, become a $1 billion sensation.
Yes.
I would love to be a Sarah Blakely, not literally, but metaphorically. So from a financial standpoint, I would love to see the brand continue to grow, and for me to keep it for myself until, whenever I get to that place. But from a practical, just everyday standpoint, I really just want to make sure that I'm expanding the options that are available. So I'm trying to make sure that we have more styles available on the site. And then also I want to expand into other categories, into other clothing categories. So right now, we don't have any lingerie, we don't have any shapewear, and we don't have swimwear. And so those are the next 3 verticals that I'm looking to get into, because they're all their own category from a industry standpoint. So they all have all their own prospective growth. And for bodysuits, because it's not its own category, even though it kind of is, it gets lumped into women's clothing. It either gets lumped into apparel, or it gets lumped into lingerie, or maybe it even gets lumped into swim. But like, generally trying to break out like how profitable the bodysuit market is very difficult. But I can break out the other ones. And so if I'm trying to project, what the competition is and where I want to go, the other great thing about those industries is that there's something out there, there's something tangible that I can like, you know, compare myself against. But shapewear is definitely the one that I'm the most excited about.
I love the idea of shapewear. I have so many ideas for shapewear, but we had a conversation prior, do you remember, with the leopard print and colorways?
Oh yes, you were saying that you wanted it to be like green.
No, blue and pink, like a soft, like that kind of blue. Let me show the blue. So
like a baby blue.
Yeah, so like this kind of baby blue, like also a powder pink and a leopard. I think that would be genius.
Well, I'm in product development now, so we're actually like launching new styles soon, and so I will keep you posted.
Keep me posted.
I will, and if I do, I'll name it after you.
Yay! That's the thing. I was like, just name anything. I've said this many times. Name anything after me. It makes me happy. But yes,
I could. Your own bodysuit.
Yes, I have my own bodies. I could so see that. I think leopard print in general is just so flattering, and it took me a minute to get to the point of loving leopard print. But I don't know, right as I saw that, and when I saw you and we were talking about like just summer or whatever and fashion, and that's what just came to my mind. I just saw a beautiful baby powder blue and a powder pink just together in a leopard style with hints of brown to kind of complement it. I think it'll do so well. I think it'll just be so pretty. It'll like with a pair of jeans, a maxi skirt, denim skirts are huge. Like there's just so many things. I'm sorry. I'm always thinking of like different outfits. Okay, so we have one last question.
I gotta bring you in. You gotta work on the line.
Yeah, honey, I'm always open.
I'll send you some cash.
Let me know.
You like this one?
Let me know. Shit, I'll be there. Let me know. Okay, last question. What would your advice be for someone who works in your field or in the corporate world that wants to elevate their style or wants their style to match their career path?
That is a really good question. That is such a good question. And it's such an important one. So the first thing I would say is thank you. Thank God that you're here, that you recognize that your style does impact where you can go in a corporate setting. You do need to make sure that your style reflects where you want to be. And of course, every corporate setting is different, right? Facebook is going to be different than ExxonMobil, which is going to be different than Alston and Bird, right? Like you need to reflect the boardroom that is right for you, right? So if the boardroom that's right for you is like having a really nice crisp white t-shirt and like the cutest little jeans and like some really cute sneakers, then emulate that. You know, make sure not to come in the sweatpants and the kind of raggedy shirt. Like emulate whatever you think it needs to look like to be attractive to the people that are in that room. So that's my advice. And always dress for success. Always wake up, and even if you're not in the mood, just put on something that looks presentable. I cannot tell you how many times I've had people pull me aside or compliment me on my appearance and mention, like, you know, it's so crazy because this person never really comes to work, in a dress for success way. They just look sloppy or whatever. And it shows. Like, people think about it. You don't think people are worried about you?
I think because of my job was always to dress women, right? To dress them for the positions. I've dressed CEOs, I've dressed everybody. But we don't realize it because someone doesn't say it out loud, like I like your outfit or I don't like your outfit. They're thinking about it because that first impression is huge. And we can lie to ourselves and say that, well, it doesn't matter, but let's be real, it matters because the way people see you is how they perceive you, and it's unfortunately that's how they treat you. It shouldn't be that way, but that's the reality we live in. So let's combat that and dress the part we want to be in. And let's dress the way we want to feel and the way we want people to perceive us and to receive us. So I highly agree with that. I'm like, that is how we need to like go into the workplace, regardless of where we work. Dress for the environment, but also dress in a way that it makes us feel good.
Yeah. And I mean, I see dressing, also nails and accessorizing as such an important part of your wardrobe as well. Another piece of advice I'd give is if there is someone's style that you admire at work, or maybe she's just like, powerful person, look up what she's wearing. look it up, like, or ask them. Just be like, I really love those shoes. Where'd you get them? And maybe what they say is unattainable now, but at least it has some, you're focused on something. You're focused on a goal. You're focused on what you want something else to look like if you're going to buy something that's a more affordable version. But also educate yourself on what it is that you want. Because sometimes if you're not in that environment, you don't know the brands. You won't, because that's not your space. They're not marketing or selling to you. And that was something I had to learn. Like, now that I'm in a position where I can buy these things and I have access to luxury, there are so many subtle clues that people who are shopping in that area have. Like, people will look at things I have on all the time, not a brand name in sight, and know exactly what brand I'm wearing. But those types of subtle hints and cues are only going to happen in certain places and certain environments. And if you want to get into that place and environment, sometimes having that subtle cue helps. You know, like when someone sees something that they're like, oh, I know what that is. Like, ooh, okay. And then their level of respect, like, goes up one notch a little bit higher. And I'm not saying it for a certain extent, of course it's a little bit shallow, of course it's superficial, of course it's materialistic, but this is America, honey. This is America.
That part.
So you need to make sure that you are reflecting whatever it is the person who is in power is reflecting, and go find it, figure it out. Ask questions, Google it.
Y'all hear that?
Put in the work, you know? Don't think that you can necessarily just be yourself. Like, I absolutely want people to pursue their dreams. I want you to be yourself, but you have to have different faces in different environments. Myself is not necessarily who I am at kickboxing. Myself is not necessarily who I am when I'm making a meal. Myself is not, you know, or when I'm at work, or when I'm driving in my car. Or we have many versions of ourselves that we have to show to people in different settings, and also we have to live with ourselves. So as long as you are the most happy with yourself, I say, you know, if you need to emulate the way someone else looks, don't feel bad about that. Like, that's life. You know?
I like that, and I find that very interesting because in a sense, yes, you know, in different stages and different aspects or different areas or different events, we are different people. I feel like I was at an event the other day, and not that I was not myself, but definitely was a different version of me, where I had to be a bit more outgoing. I had to be a bit more talkative than I need to be. And believe it or not, I don't necessarily go out and talk to everybody. It's funny because I think I'm a true Gemini in the sense where I have my shy moments, but at the same time, for me to talk to strangers, it's definitely stepping out of my comfort zone. I like to talk to people that I know. And then I like to talk to people that my friends know, because it's easier, because I feel like, well, they're my friends, so that means they're cool. I was just having this conversation with my husband where I was just like, you know, if they're friends of our friends and our friends co-sign, then they're cool, period, right? And I can say that because I've had a history, like, over the last 20 years of having really good friends that I've met through my other friends, so through my old school friends, and we were all really good friends. So, and I feel like it's different in every setting.
It is.
So, you know, I think the initial person hearing that might think, but when you think about it, we are, in a sense, we approach different people differently. It's almost like playing like mental gymnastics, right? Because you have to appear, especially in a corporate setting or in the work world in general, you can't always be the party person at work, and you can't always be the intimidated person or the shy person when you need to be aggressive and assertive. So I like that. I that's definitely a different way. And even for me, I'm like, wow, that's definitely a different way of looking at it. And the same thing goes with fashion, because if I'm going to a setting where everyone's casual, actually, perfect example, I went on a brand trip with Disney, and I was the only fashion girl there. Actually, there was another girl who was somewhat fashion, but I'm more of a luxury, high-end, like, everyday's fashion week type of girl. And I had to tone that down but not that I didn't look good, but I also didn't want to make anyone feel uncomfortable. And then I also wanted to dress for the fact that I was at Disney in the scorching sun.
Exactly.
So, you know, I can't have a New York Fashion Week moment, you know,
and not in your resort wear.
Exactly, even though I wanted to feel like I was at the South of France everywhere I went. But then I would look like the damn fool.
Right.
Because I think part of dressing well and part of dressing for success is knowing where to or how to dress to the different occasions.
Yeah, read the room.
Yeah.
And if what you are reading you don't understand, figure it out. Get a translator. But I'm serious. Like, it's about initiative too. Like, don't think you can just lay back and like one day you'll figure out fashion. Like, that's not how it works. And everyone who is a fashionista here, I'm sure they know, like, it takes time to get to a place where you're comfortable with what your fashion and your style is. We've all had hits and misses and tried to emulate the wrong person.
I'm laughing a little bit because, so the last guest, she was like, it took her almost about, almost like 20 years to really figure out her style and get comfortable and try. This was also my sister. But she was saying that, when you look at pictures of us when we used to go out and travel and party and everything 20 years ago, everybody looked foolish except for me. I feel like but also shoot, when I think about it, I was that person that I was into fashion from when I was ever since I can remember, since I was maybe 10. I started sewing clothes when I was 10. I started emulating what I wanted to see, being around my Nigerian mother and her friends dressing up with their head ties and the gold and all of that. I would always see them like, wow, and I remember till today, I remember vividly my auntie saying, we work hard for our money, like, and Nigerians are like, we work hard for our money, so when you grow up, you work hard and you buy what you want, hence I buy what I want. But that's just something for me that I think I have been practicing and trying to see and looking at different styles and looking at different fashions and figuring out how to make it my own. And I've been able to successfully do that. I would say more so my success of doing that has been in the last maybe 15 years, where I've really understood that I like classic pieces, but I like to look on trend. So a lot of the things in my wardrobe are very classic per se, but I wear them in a way where they look trendy, or I make them trendy-ish. So I definitely agree that you have to, it's a process. Like, you don't just wake up today and then that's it, I get it. Or you don't even just look at, that person, or look at me, or look at any influencer or model and say, I'm going to do that. That's going to work for me. You also have to understand your body. And then you can look at me, or then you can look at the influencer, and then you can look at Toby and say, I'm going to make that my own. Yeah. Right? And then I'm creating my own identity by making something that I love and admire and making it my own.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
Thank you.
Absolutely. I finally got into this era. This is my nude, neutral tone era. And for me, the reason why I like it is because everything matches. So it's less stressful for me to get ready. As you saw, I was clearly flummoxed when you asked me what was in my closet. So it's nice that I can pick up pieces and they're always going to kind of go together. But it took me time to get there. I love color. I love color. I love colors. I'm like obsessed. I used to paint. And so I thought maybe I could be a canvas, and I can't. Like, I had so much color, and it was just like, I couldn't find an outfit. You can't, just because you love the way something looks per se, like, you still, like you said, you have to make it your own. Like, you can't just buy everything you see that you like. You have to think about, how is this going to fit in with what I already have, And I've learned some lessons the hard way on that. I'm like, I'm never gonna wear this. It's lovely and it's great, but I'm literally never gonna wear this.
I love that.
Because I have nothing to wear it with.
But that's also a matter of being honest with yourself and honest with your wardrobe and honest with, like, okay, it's not just a matter of liking or loving something, but how am I gonna actually, will this work for my lifestyle, for what I do in terms of work, for what I do in terms of everything. So I think the key is finding what works with you, finding what works for your lifestyle, and making it your own.
I agree, 100%.
Right,
thank you. This has been amazing.
Right? This is so good.
Yeah, no, thank you so much. I'm really grateful to you.
Mwah, mwah, my
I'm so
pleasure.
glad that we met, and you're such an inspiration.
Thank you.
Bomb mom, bomb wife, fashionista. What else do you need?
We try. Thank you so much, Toby. I truly appreciate you coming on. I admire what you're doing. I love it. We're here to make sure you succeed. I think, at least for me where I am now, I love seeing women doing what they love, especially when it comes to fashion, but just using that to just inspire and to help and to just make a business out of it. Why not? If it's something you love, go for it. And you are doing amazing.
I
will definitely link Toby's. We're going to link the website. We're going to link your Instagram page. We're going to link everything, all the things.
Away.
Yeah, so we're going to link everything in the description box. Ladies, you need to check this brand out. When I tell you, amazing. I'm not kidding. You will not be disappointed. The quality is amazing. The fabrics, all of that. I can't wait to see the swim. I can't wait to see the Mani bodysuit. I can't wait to see the shapewear, all the things. Colors that actually match our skin colors. All of that. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you. Tell the girls real quick, what is your Instagram handle? And are you on YouTube? You're not on YouTube?
No, I'm not on YouTube. My Instagram handle is a little bit difficult, so maybe you can put it right here.
Okay,
but
we'll have a text overlay.
Yeah.
I think is it shop_Lucas?
Luska. Shop_Luska for the brand.
For the brand, perfect, good. And you as well?
Yeah, and so my personal is the one that's a little bit more difficult. Okay. It's Kayleana. But K is spelled K-E-I.
Okay. All right, we'll have the text underlay pop up as well.
Please follow me.
Yes, please follow. And don't forget to follow me, especially if you're new here. What's up? I'm Mani. I forgot to introduce myself. I'm Monica, and I'm a fashion and lifestyle content creator. And if you enjoyed this video, just go ahead and subscribe. Hit that notification bell. That way you never miss a video. Subscribe, hit the notification bell. Follow me on all the platforms. That's Instagram, TikTok, Pinterest, my website, oddbymonica.com. Basically on Instagram and TikTok it's Odd by Mani, but everywhere else it's Odd by Monica. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Don't forget to let us know which part of the interview was your favorite part, which tip was your favorite part. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.
Adios.